All right, for this video, I just want to quickly give you a chance to check your box plots here. As you can see, this one, pretty variable, but shifted to the right. This is class 1. Class 2, very, very spread out. And the maximum and the quartile 3 actually line up. They're the same point. So you can put a dot, but there's definitely no line there. But you also don't have to have the dot. That just helps me remember that I marked it. And then we can see here, lots of our values are very concentrated in this area. So not much variability, but then we are still pretty spread out. So let's go ahead and start to think about what facts we can state here. One thing I already noticed is that each class had at least, they didn't have anybody score lower than 5. So that might be one of the first facts that I state. So my 4 to 5 facts, no classes had students get less than 5 correct. All right, what else do we notice? Well, if we look at the highest scores, each class also had at least one person get 20 correct. So each class had at least one person get a perfect score. Okay. All right, now let's maybe make some facts about each one and their variability. So here, class 1 is slightly skewed right, but still has pretty high variability because there's 50% of our data between 10 and 19. Some might say, and if I look at all the other ones, right, what's the most variable class? Obviously this one, very, very spread out. So that might be one of the next things I state. Class 2, do the number. Class 2 has the highest variability because 50% of the data is spread out over a, let's see, how big is that range? It goes all the way from 6 up to 20. So if all the way from a 14-point range, this is a 14-point range. So class 2 has the highest variability because 50% of the data is spread out over a 14-point range. Okay, well, then what can we say about this little class down here then? It obviously must have the lowest variability because this is 10, this is 19, so it's only a 9-point range for 50% of the data. Now this one, it's only 15 to 17, so it's only a 2-point range. So here I would say class 3 has the lowest variability because 50% of the data is spread out over only a 2-point range. And maybe we can find even a 5th thing to state. Let's go ahead and look back here. I want you to try to test yourself. See if you can go back and find yet another fact to state that might be important to think about. If I were you, I would discuss something about the median and what that might mean, what's typical for most of the classes, and then try to write 1 or 2 assertions on the left side here, and then we'll all talk as a class and try to come up with the final best possible assertions we can to analyze this particular data set about these different classes on this quiz.